What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be bringing you guys the showcase video for the version 2 DOFLAMINGO. So if you guys haven't actually seen the video where I pulled this guy, make sure you go ahead and click the card in the top right hand side of the video to go ahead and see it. If you guys have not seen it, I highly recommend to go ahead and watch that video. It was pretty cool. But yes, we did pull DOFLAMINGO, and in this video, there aren't really too many things out right now that I can really showcase this guy on. I really wanted to showcase him on some reasonably difficult content. So I've got two pieces of content that I actually went ahead and used this character for. So hopefully you guys do go on to enjoy it. But before we actually get onto the pieces of content, I want to actually go through what this guy actually does, so you get a full detailed breakdown of what to expect for the actual video. So let's go ahead and break him down. You can see here that he has max limit break, max candies. His stats are pretty insane: 4,460 HP with candies and limit break, 1924 attack with candies and limit break, and with max limit break he has 512 recovery. Just overall his stats are insane. I think base attack is like over 1600. It is a little bit of a shame, the fact that he doesn't get much attack from his limit break, but you can't really worry about that too much. His abilities are pretty OP. So let's go ahead and go through his captain ability. V2 DOFLAMINGO's captain ability states that if your crew has exactly 6 driven characters, he boosts their attack by 3.9 times when they have a matching slot, and if they don't, it's just a 3.25 attack multiplier. So at the very least, it's going to be 3.25 times attack, but in the off chance you do have a matching orb, 3.9 times attack just consistently, which is pretty insane. But there is that condition: you do have to have exactly 6 characters in your crew that are driven, meaning that if one of your characters is blown away, you actually lose your multiplier. So you have to take that into consideration. You have to be very careful when using this guy. He also boosts the driven character's HP by 1.2, so with double Dofi and the DOFLAMINGO ship, you actually get quite a lot of amount of health, and you guys will see that in the video that we actually go ahead and showcase here. Also, additionally, as an added effect, he will make Dex and Quick Orbs have beneficial slot effects for driven characters, and he drastically decreases the chances of landing on a strength slot. So that little ability there is very reminiscent of Legend Lucy. He has the exact same ability where all characters will treat Dex and Quick as beneficial, but strength orbs won't appear as much on your crew, and he does that for driven characters. So he allows you to get more matching orbs, which will overall allow you to get your high multiplier a lot more often of 3.9 times multiplier. Overall, an absolutely insane captain ability. The special ability of DOFLAMINGO, which will start initially, I think, at a 22 turn cooldown, goes down to 17 turns, and maxes at 16 with a limit break. It states that it will deal 2 times the amount of damage dealt beyond enemies' HP the previous turn in non-type damage. So this is what we call overkill damage. So I've already gone through this previously before, but if you guys don't exactly understand how this works, it means that if you deal 1,000,000 damage to an enemy that only has 500,000 HP, that means you've done 500,000 damage in overkill damage, and this special ability will go ahead and deal 2 times the amount of overkill you dealt in the previous turn. So in that example there, you've done 500,000 overkill. When you activate the special, it is 2 times that, so it means that this special does 1,000,000 damage, and you guys will see in this video how we abuse it in order to clear content, and it's absolutely so satisfying to just wave clear an entire room utilizing this guy's special ability. It is super duper powerful. And also, he has some sailor abilities as well. You're not really going to be using this guy as a crewmate, but if you are ever going to be using it as a crewmate, these are some abilities that he gets. The first one here, he will make the character's quick slots have matching slot effects, so DOFLAMINGO will make all the quick orbs be beneficial for himself. And his other ability makes driven characters' Dex orbs beneficial to all driven characters. So that's okay as well, but like we said before, you're not really going to be using this guy as a sub, unless if you're going to be using him as a sub on a cerebral or a driven based team. And in those particular teams, they already have characters particularly that will already treat those orbs as beneficial for the most part. So it's not really that beneficial, effects to your teams, but he mainly we're going to be using him as a captain for your driven squads, and that is what he's really good at. He also has some potential abilities as well. His first one is quick damage reduction up to 5%. His second one is recovery bind resistance up to 5 turns, which is a little lackluster. I really wish that this was a little more significant. And his slot bind resistance, which actually does get utilized in this video, is a 10 turn reduction. So his slot bind resistance is definitely his best ability, but overall I really wish his abilities were a little bit better, and I wish his sailor abilities were a little bit more useful, but you cannot deny the fact that this guy's special ability is super duper unique and allows you to clear content super easily. So the first piece of content that I'll be showing you guys is going to be against Coliseum NL, and I know a lot of people have had a lot of hard times with Coliseum NL. However, this DOFLAMINGO team was built to basically straight up counter this specific piece of content, and we're going to show in this video why he is so goddamn good. So you'll see here, specifically in this part right here, why limit breaking units is extremely important, because if we didn't have limit break, you couldn't get around the slot bind, and we wouldn't have all these orbs counted as beneficial. And this is one of the great strengths of version 2 DOFLAMINGO, is the batch that he comes with straight up support him so well. If you limit break all the units in the batch, you'll treat all these certain orbs as beneficial for your driven characters. You've got int orbs counting as beneficial with Pika, recovery is beneficial with Sugar, and tandem is beneficial with Treble. Now there's no rare recruit unit that treats size beneficial aside from limited rare recruit Kirby, who is a very powerful unit, and if you have him, I highly suggest getting him for your DOFLAMINGO teams. And also treasure map Cavendish is also another unit that you can use to make Psi orbs count as beneficial. And another unit that a lot of people don't talk about is limited rare recruit Akainu. He is a dex unit that is a 2x orb booster for driven characters, and he has a limit break sailor ability that will treat int orbs as beneficial to driven characters. So he's kind of like a replacement unit instead of Pika. If you guys don't know what Pika does, he's actually got some pretty nice utility. I believe he gets rid of 4 turns of Bind and Despair, and he does a 20% health cut, and he makes all your orbs into G. So really dependent on what type of content you are coming up against, but Akainu is also a solid option to use instead of Pika. Another great thing about all of these units working together is the fact that you actually do get some pretty decent utility with all of these units available here as well. Treble is a really nice unit. He gets rid of damage limiter and damage reduction and stuff like that, so he's really powerful. Raid Barto is a really strong unit to use. If you guys have not maxed Raid Barto and you have V2 DOFLAMINGO, highly suggest doing that, because this Raid Barto is quite nice, because in those certain circumstances where you can't get around the opponent straight away, Raid Barto is fantastic. He allows you to tank hits, he heals you, he removes enemies like attack up and enrages and resilience and stuff like that, as we use in this specific circumstance here. So Barto is really key, especially because for driven teams in particular, they really cannot get around special bind. So in the certain circumstance where you need to use a special and not all your characters are special binded, using Barto to kind of tank hits is quite nice. And that's, as I mentioned, one of the big weaknesses of DOFLAMINGO teams is there's only one unit in the entire game that removes special bind on a driven team, and that is the Summer Rare Recruit Quick Perona that came out on the first Blitz Battle Sugo Fest like ages ago and like has never ever returned. So that specific Perona character is very good for driven teams, being the only unit that removes special bind. And if you have that Perona, then you know your driven teams are going to be your best possible teams to build. But for people that don't have that Perona like myself, it is going to make certain pieces of content not that optimal with a DOFLAMINGO team. This second piece of content you guys are seeing right now is going to be the full DOFLAMINGO team versus the DOFLAMINGO Forest, and you guys are going to see how well this team just counters this forest. This team is like a hot knife through butter. It melts through the content, and we get to go ahead and utilize the DOFLAMINGO special once again on the final stage, so you guys will see how that actually works out. But you don't have to specifically run, you know, these types of units, or you don't even have to run double DOFLAMINGO. A lot of people can opt to run a Judge Friend Captain, which is not too bad either. He gives you some bind reduction, he gives you an orb boost as well. He does make all your orbs into Psi, or a majority of your orbs into Psi, which can be counted as beneficial when you're using a character like Limited Rare Recruit Kirby or Treasure Map Cavendish, depending on what type of team you are building. So, you know, even if you don't have DOFLAMINGO yourself, you can still run a Judge Captain or a Judge Friend Captain, and you can still build some pretty powerful driven teams that way as well. Now, another big counter to DOFLAMINGO teams would be enemies that have really high counts of barriers, because you cannot use the DOFLAMINGO special to deal overkill damage with his special when the enemy has a barrier, unless if you have some sort of other special ability that will allow you to bypass the barrier. But in a majority of content, you're not going to be able to use this special through barriers, which, you know, can really limit him. But you still got to remember, this guy is still up to a 3.9 times captain for driven, which is still going to be able to clear a lot of pieces of content, even if you are restricted to not using the DOFLAMINGO special. But that is definitely the big strength of DOFLAMINGO, is being able to enter a room using his special ability and just wave clearing it and just moving right along. So, you know, if you do know that your DOFLAMINGO cannot be used in a certain room, either using it after that room or before that room is still going to enable you to clear it a lot easier. Something else that is a positive note for DOFLAMINGO teams is the fact that he himself has his own ship, you know, the DOFLAMINGO ship, giving you a lot of attack to your driven teams, giving you a lot of additional health, and also when you use the special ability of the ship, it allows you to get a little bit of a chain boost to your crew as well. Another unit that can also do that is going to be Coliseum NL, who we just beat before in the previous clip, and if you guys don't know if your captain is driven, he will go ahead and add 0.7 to the chain multiplier. Also, Coliseum NL gives himself a matching orb, and he removes attack down on your crew, and attack down is going to be one of the big debuffs that is going to be appearing a lot more on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. So if you have DOFLAMINGO, make sure you're maxing out that Coliseum NL. He's going to be extremely useful for upcoming pieces of content, if you do want to, you know, use him for some of the more difficult pieces coming out. But anyways, guys, that's been my full breakdown and showcase and my thoughts and opinions on me using DOFLAMINGO so far. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to smack the like button down below. If there are any other showcase videos of any other particular legends that you guys want me to make a video on, make sure to comment down below in the comment section. I'd love to make these types of showcases with other legends that you guys maybe want to see, and if you guys do, you know, make sure to comment them and I'll try and figure something out depending on what kind of legend you guys are going to be picking. But anyways, guys, I'll leave you with that. If you guys do want to stay up to date with all the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.